Hello, everyone. The Adrian Dominican Sisters welcome you to a presentation of A Sister Story. I am Sister Peg O'Flynn, and I have the honor of having a conversation today with Sister Noella Marie McLeod. And I'm coming from Adrian, she's coming from Santa Cruz, California. So we have lovely weather here, Noella Marie. And what's yours like out there? We have sun.
Well, right now it's overcast, but by noon it'll be sunny.
Oh, that's right. I forget. It's 1 o'clock here. It's what, 10 o'clock?
10. Mm-hmm.
10. Very well. Good morning. Okay. Well, thank you for your willingness to share your story. This is watched by family and friends, and it's on YouTube as well. So you will become famous. And people have been watching this and sending us, people we don't even know, sending us comments on the preaching of our women and how they've been involved in ministries. So this is special. So let's begin where you began. I think you were born in Detroit, and then you can just go on with telling me about your folks and your siblings and what school was like and so on.
So I was born in Detroit, and my father was a policeman. And he was one of the first. He was one of the first dispatchers when they put radios in the cars.
Oh.
And my mother worked at the Times, which was a newspaper then, and that's how they met. They met on the telephone. She used to have to call and get the police report in the morning, and she got him. So he must have asked her for coffee sometime. So
that's sweet.
So I am the sixth of eight. My mother was a single mother raising 5 children. My father married her with 5 children, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 6. And here I am. And then I have a younger brother and a younger sister. My sister's 2 years younger, and my other brother is 5 years younger. So there were 5 boys and 3 girls.
Wow, that's an interesting story. Okay.
So we lived, it was a blended family. Nobody knew, unless they knew, nobody knew. We are from St. Gabriel's Parish. My father was a convert. My mother didn't come into the church until I was in the convent for about 4 years. But we were raised very strictly. My mother knew the rules.
Better than us, huh?
Yeah. So my name is Noella Marie because my grandfather's name was Noel. And my grandmother's name was Marie. And they made my name up on the way to the hospital because I was supposed to be Penelope. And my other grandmother said no way, that she would call me Penelope. So they made my name up on the way to the hospital.
So you never changed your name to a religion? Yeah.
No, I went by Noella all this time.
Okay.
And that's my own name. So when my mother put all my whole name on all my name tags. So when I was a novice, all I had to just put sister in front of everything. So I went to St. Gabriel's, taught by the Adrian Dominicans. And my mother's children were not, the older ones were not baptized. And my father decided to send them to Catholic school. The older 2 were in high school, so they said no. And so 5 of us were baptized on the same day.
Oh my!
We have one uncle who was Catholic, one uncle by marriage who was Catholic, and so all of us, the 5 of us, were baptized on the same day.
Oh, that's lovely. That's nice. Yeah. Good. At St. Gabe's.
At St. Gabriel's. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the 7th grade, then finished the 7th grade, my father retired from the police force, and we moved to a small town called Onaway.
Yeah, I saw that. Where is that?
It's about 50 miles south of the Straits, near Sheboygan, between Sheboygan and Indian River, or south of Indian River.
Right. I know where those are. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So then that was the 8th grade. 3 of us, by the time I was in 6th grade, the 5 older ones were married. And so they're just the 3 of us.
Okay.
With my mom and dad. So we were the church people. My dad was Mr. Fix-It, and my mother cooked and and my sister and I sang in the choir. My brother was an altar boy, and we were the go-to family. If you needed anything, call the McLeods. So we did the mailings, and I taught catechism, and all those things that when I entered the convent I was still doing.
And you're probably still doing some right now.
Yes, still doing it.
Yeah. So what was family life like? Your older ones got married, so you weren't all home at the same time.
When we were little, the three older boys were in the service. So they were out of the house for 3 years. And then when they came home, they started to get married. So by the time I was in 6th grade, the 5 older ones were married. Originally, we had 31 nieces and nephews, 45 grandnieces and nephews, and now we have more than 60 of the next generation. And I get to be the matriarch, which means absolutely nothing in our family. It just means, Noella's coming home, and here we go.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
So we try to have a family picnic on big day when I go home, so that, that's what I wanted. When I graduated from nursing school, that's what I wanted, so that the little kids could get to know one another. And they grew up being really close. Some of the cousins are very, very close.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's an interesting family dynamic, your history, with the blended family.
Our family, we were all singers. And so everybody had a voice, and so we sang in harmony. And that's how we entertained one another. And when we got together at parties, we all sat around the table and sang. And I miss that because the older ones are gone now. So we don't get the chance to sing. My sister's a cantor. My sister and brother are both cantors too. And my sister is a cantor at Indian River, at the shrine in Indian River. So
I've been there. I've been to a wedding there.
Yeah, the cross. Yeah, the big cross.
Yes. Yeah.
So I entered in 1956, as you know. You were there when I got there.
I got ready for you. Yeah.
Actually, I had gone down to Detroit for somebody's graduation, and my dear friend from 2nd grade, Tony Zamet, was entering. And so I said, well, if she could enter, I could enter. So I had just finished my junior year. So I asked my parents if I could enter after my senior year. And then I changed my mind and went in September of my senior year. Oh. So I took all my senior year at the academy with the academy girls. So I had no relationship with the academy girls. I just was there. So.
But you couldn't enter until you graduated, or?
No. We could. In those days, we could still enter.
Okay.
Oh, I was a postulant when I went to.
Oh, I went to the
academy for the whole of my senior year without being able to talk to anybody.
Oh, God.
It was interesting. They would talk past me, So then I taught. My first mission was in Munising. I loved Munising. For 4 years, I was in Munising. Then I went to Chicago at St. Kevin's on the south side. I was there for 4 years. And I went to Romeo. My dad was sick, so they moved me closer.
Oh, that's good.
I taught in Romeo for 3 years, and then St. Margaret's and St. Clair Shores for 1 year. I taught from 3rd to 8th grade boys and girls choir and school music. And I had I worked since I was 14 and saved my money to go to nursing school. So I finally got released to go to nursing school. And so I was an LPN, and I went back to the infirmary.
Where does the nursing background come from?
It's just something I wanted to do since I was 8 years old. Yeah.
Isn't that?
Now we have several nurses in the family, but I was the first.
Did you have a significant event when you were 8 that you thought?
No, I just wanted to. It was just a feeling I had, I guess.
Good. Good.
So I took care of our retired sisters for 3 years, and then I went back to school to be an RN, and then I came out here to Santa Cruz, and I worked in maternity. So I worked. Well, my parents were ill, so I had to go back to Detroit, and they both died 22 months apart. And while I was there, I worked at Detroit Memorial downtown. in maternity, labor and delivery and babies nursery. And so when I came out here, that's what I did. So for 23 years, I was a maternity nurse here in Santa Cruz.
Oh,
and then,
my.
So I have families that I'm connected to since their babies were born, and now, some of them are 40 years old. So
Did you choose maternity, or
Yeah.
you were assigned to it?
I chose maternity. I mean, I grew up with all those little kids in my family, I was only 8 when my first niece was born. So I was the babysitter for all of those kids all these years. And some of them still remember when we were all young and I took care of everybody.
I hope you got paid well during your babysitting.
Oh, yeah, they did. Lots of hugs and kisses. That was it, kids.
Oh, cute. Cute.
So when we'd have a family dinner, if everybody came, the grown-ups, of course, would be in one room at the long table, and you would be in the kitchen at the long table, and I'd have all these little kids. And my sister would be at one end, and I would be at the other end. We just made sure that everybody ate and stayed in their chairs. So that's what it was like. I was like 24 before I ever sat at the adult table. Now, I had been in the convent for years.
All our families, all our history, we think we all had those kids' table. Okay, so then you were in nursing a lot, but you lived in community. Did you?
We lived, yes. We lived in apartments, but when we lived on Thurber Lane, there were 10 apartments. 9 apartments were people that worked in at the hospital, and 5 of them were all our sisters. So they were all occupied by our sisters because it was just around the corner from the hospital. Mm-hmm. And then I moved over here. I live next to Barbara Ann Long, and I've been here for about 29 years, I think. 29 years. Yeah. So I live alone, and she lives alone, and then there's an IHM sister from Los Angeles, and the 3 of us make a community.
That's good. That's nice.
But then we're connected with their sisters that are here. There aren't very many of us anymore.
I was going to say it's getting smaller out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that there are 3 in the hospital. And then there are 4 or 5 of us that are retired.
Yeah.
But we get together, and a lot of us are in the same mission group because we don't travel and we, that age thing. And when you live out here, you travel. Because
that's right.
Everything is far apart. Yeah.
So thank God for Zoom.
Yes. We learned a lot.
Yeah. And really the importance of wanting to be back together again. Yes. The convenience of Zoom and no travel, and it's easier on us, but whatever the future may bring is going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. What's a significant experience maybe that you've had in your ministry?
Well,
the miracle of birth is got to be, yeah.
And what happened is I have one family where I sang their wedding. I was there at the delivery. I sang the child's wedding, and she has a little boy in 5th grade. I didn't deliver that. I wasn't at that delivery, but that, and it's the significance of I'm there at their birth, and they a lot of them go to our own parish, so I'm there for their baptism and their first communion and their confirmation and their graduation, and then some of them their weddings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are very significant. I have 3 godchildren named Noella, and I was there at their births. All 3 of those. I have another one that I was at her birth, but I'm not her godmother. So yeah.
So you're Noella, but you weren't born around Christmas time,
No, my birthday's in September.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are some other significant events in your ministry? Your ministry is a little different than most of us who spent so many years teaching in the classroom. You certainly taught by example.
Mostly my passion is singing. So, and I can sing for just about anything. I sing for weddings and funerals, and I'd rather sing for a funeral than anything. I love singing for funerals because sometimes it brings people back, and it's a great comfort to people. And I've been here for 42 years, so people know me. And so once in a while I sing at a different parish, if they need me.
Mm-hmm.
When I sing in the diocesan choir, Barbara directs the diocesan choir, and I've sung in that choir since '82, I think. That's how long I've sung in that choir. And then, of course, I sing at Holy Cross. So it's that's significant for me because, I can really minister with my voice.
Yeah, you do.
Thank God I still have it.
That's right. And you got to keep it to do my funeral. But anyway, it's a great ministry, the singing and also the nursing. But you're getting older. We're going to be in 65 years this June and September.
That's right.
How has that been? What kind of an experience has that been for you as you move along in life?
As I move along. Well, I have a medical retirement, so I've been retired for a long, long time. But I can sing and then come home and then go back and sing something else. So I can't be not on a regular schedule. So the significance. I've just been here. I just do my ministry. Sometimes people just need to talk, and then of course I know my the kids that I've delivered and the families. I'm close to all those big families. There's one family where I was there for 5 of the 6 babies, and the 6th baby was born, and I was upstairs taking care of one of our priests who had surgery, and they played Brahms' lullaby when a baby is born. And so I heard it and I said, but they count that as my being in the hospital because I was there. So that's one family of 6.
What a treasure you are to the people out there. That's wonderful.
Oh, I love the people. I love the people. And then I sang in 4 choirs at Holy Cross. And I sang in the contemporary choir as well as the 4-part choir. And then I sang in the Hispanic choir. Although I don't speak Spanish, I can sing. I can read it and sing it. I can know what I'm singing so I have all that whole family.
That's wonderful.
All the Hispanic community too. I can't do that anymore because I can't stand that long, but that would be 4 masses in a row. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Now it sounds like life has been wonderful, which I'm sure the majority of your life has been wonderful. But challenges, how do you handle challenges, or what's a challenge that you've had that maybe you'd like to share with us?
Well, I have a challenge. I have a hidden infirmity that nobody knows about. I had a back surgery in the Dr. Oopst. And so I've lived like that for 39 years. But nobody knows unless they know. So it is a challenge, and I don't have any pain, but there's other things. But I've just lived with it. I just put my shoes on in the morning and get going, and that's the way it is. You just have to do what you can do.
So it hasn't stopped you in any way. May have slowed you down.
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you do for fun?
For fun.
And don't say sing. I'm sure you do, yeah.
But I go out for lunch with people. Phone ring. I go out to lunch and I visit people and go down to the ocean. I just live 3 blocks up from the ocean.
Oh, wonderful.
So after Mass, I go down and I try to get down there I say my rosary and pray a little bit, just enjoy just being down there. So that's my big thing.
Who has inspired you the most along the way? Or what has inspired you, either or, who or what?
Well, one of my heroes is Anne Herringer, of course.
Oh, that's right, yes.
She was the nurse and she was in charge at Maria when I was brand new. And then she encouraged me to go back to school to be an RN. And then I came out here and she was here. So she was one. My parents, of course,
Good.
They were wonderful, wonderful people. You have to know that if you know that my dad did what he did. And
Right. Yeah. The fact that they got together, they continued on living after whatever happened that brought the two of them together. which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was a happy household, it seems.
And wonderful.
You've carried that through, to this time.
Yeah, we had a wonderful home life. Wonderful. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like not to be loved, because I've been loved since the minute I was born. You know,
That's wonderful.
My older brothers and sisters treated me like a princess, and until my sister came along, and then she was the princess. Every family needs one.
Oh, really? What happened in my family? Oh, that's wonderful.
Are you the only girl?
And no, there's two of us. Yeah, 2 boys, 2 girls. Yeah. So, do you have some words of wisdom to us? You know, we all have something deep within us that has carried you through someone else. And do you have some words of wisdom for those of us that are watching you?
Just start every day with a smile and just get going and do what you have to do. And I have a little thing on my wall here that says, "Joy is the echo of God's life in us."
Beautiful.
And I've loved that for so long. You know, it is. It's just, you have to be. You know, if the sun's not out, you make your own sunshine. So it's that's all I have. That's all I have for you. You know, I've just been I've been in this long, 65 years. I've loved every minute. Sometimes it's been hard, and sometimes it hasn't been, but it's a wonderful life. I've loved, and you know, Peg and I have been friends for all that long. 65 years.
Tell me this, how are you dealing with our coming together and folding all these 200 and some people and folding into a new chapter?
Challenge.
Yeah.
That has been a challenge. Yeah. Because, you know, we're all scattered, and you don't know the people that have been in Florida forever, people that don't know us, that we've been out here forever, you know. You recognize faces, but you don't get a chance to visit. I'm hoping that after the pandemic, that when we can travel again, we'll be able to get together as a group. You know, I'm on the committee that's working. We're having a little closure of our chapter at the end of May. So I'm on that committee because we've been, you know, forever and ever and ever. I've been here so long. I've been here since it was the Holy Cross chapter.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Holy Cross, right.
Holy Cross province, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all have. So we're all dealing with it in the best we can. We have no idea what's going to happen once it comes together. What it's going to be like. It'll be interesting. So, is there something about you, not beside your back, that if we knew, we'd be surprised? Oh, I never thought Noella Marie would da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Is there something?
I love football.
Oh,
I don't care who's playing. I don't care who's playing. I love football. I especially like the Seattle Seahawks, but I love football. Yeah. And when I was no longer singing in all those choirs, that first Sunday I came home, I put on my sweats. I crawled into my chair at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I watched football all day long until I went to bed, because I never got to watch a whole game because I worked on Sundays too. Got it. Yeah. When I worked on Sundays too. So, yeah.
Oh, that
might be a surprise.
Yes, very much so. I can't imagine sitting all day watching football.
Well, I don't do that all the time. I know. You know, it just happened. That was one of my joys.
Where do you think the Spirit might be leading you at this point in your life?
Well, right now I intend to stay out here as long as I'm able, and then I'll go back into Adrian. I'm not, I'm not resisting.
Averse,
I'm not resisting. Yeah. I'm looking for it. I love to go to Adrian. I get teased a lot about that.
Yeah, you've been there a lot. Yeah.
And when I was at Maria, when we would drive, we would come out and drive in front of the mother house, and I was the driver, and I'd go really slow. And the other nuns would tease me because I just love the whole campus is so beautiful, and the spirit is so beautiful.
Springtime is beautiful on campus.
And fall when all the leaves in the front when the trees are changing in the front. Yeah.
Is there a certain way you'd like to be remembered? I think we all think of you as a great singer. I mean, and a nurse. I'm not taking it
part of it. Yeah. I'm really pretty up. I'm pretty cheerful all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we were raised. If you came down crabby from in the morning, you got sent back up to start over again.
Did you really?
Yes, my father and mother were never crabby. I never remember them being crabby. And if you came downstairs and you were kind of, there's going to be an off day, my dad would just say, why don't you go back upstairs and start over? So I only got sent up, I think, once. I used to say to my sister, just be quiet and do it. She always had to have something to say.
That says a lot about the spirituality that you grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with your family, and it comes from your parents. And yeah, it's how we live life.
Right.
So respectful of each other.
Yeah. And we all my dad came from a family of 12, and so they doubled up in beds. He said if anybody got up in the night, you'd come back and you wouldn't have a spot. So he made sure, as many as there were of us, we all had our own beds. We never slept with anybody. And if you were in your bed, that was your private space, and nobody could disturb you unless you wanted them to be. So, we grew up with that respectfulness. So the boys were in one room and in bunk beds, and we were in the other room in bunk beds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different when you come from a large family and talk about sharing, and it's not just you; it's everybody. So you've carried that well throughout your life here with us as an Adrian Dominican. Is there something that you'd like to leave with us or you were hoping I'd ask you and I didn't?
Well, I think we covered everything, Peg.
Did we? Well, I know we have those questions, and I don't do it one by one, but it comes out in conversation with each other. But sometimes people will say, "Oh, I wish you would have said da da da." So this is your chance.
Okay. No, I think we pretty much covered. I really enjoyed this interview, and I hope that people know how wonderful it is to be an Adrian Dominican.
Oh, yes. I hope we all do. Yes. And we are blessed by support groups that we have in and outside the congregation. So Noella Marie McLeod, thank you so much for your willingness to share your stories. I mentioned this is part of the congregation's history, and every single sister has a story, and no two stories are the same. Even if you're twins, they're not the same story. So you've been preaching to us in this past half hour, and for that I thank you. Thank you for your service to so many people in the name of the congregation, and just thank you for you and your happiness, and what a wonderful beginning you had with the love of your parents and how they brought you all up, and it has stuck with you and with the rest of the kids, I'm sure. Okay, so God bless you. And I'll see you at the first party in Adrian once we can open up again.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking me.
You're very welcome.